Hello, hello. This is Wesley the actor, ATM Cash Out, and you already know what time it is. And today, you are in for a treat. What I want to do today is teach you how to love yourself. How to just be so intimate with yourself that you're able to elevate yourself. Now, imagine yourself. Run with me for a second. Imagine yourself as a seed, right? And this seed, what do you do with seeds? You have to put them in the ground. So the thing is, this seed, we would be planted on this planet Earth, right? But how we go about manifesting who we are is very, very important. So I want to just explain how the dimensions work so you can understand what I want to teach you today. So the first dimension is knowledge. It says in the Bible that the that wisdom, that knowledge, knowledge is the beginning. So we have to understand that knowledge first. But once there is an understanding of this knowledge, knowledge of the world, knowledge of who we are, knowledge of where we are, knowledge of what we are and how we are and what we belong to, right? This knowledge moves on once we understand it to a point where we overstand. We get to a point when we understand the wisdom behind each type of knowledge. What do we do with this knowledge? What can we pursue? What can we create? But when we learn how to create from the wisdom that we're given, we have understanding, which is the third dimension. This understanding, this is the physical reality. This is when the seed becomes the tree and it starts to bear fruit. This knowledge, this is the understanding. The three together create knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Some people like to call it man, woman, and child, but that's completely up to everybody else's discretion. But once we understand the understanding, we have to realize that we have to die to ourselves in this metaphysical death so we can get to the next realm past that, this fourth dimension. In this fourth dimension, some of you might have actually gone through it, but it's through a form. Typically, this fourth dimension is in our mind, but it's almost like a portal. But typically, people who have been depressed have been in the fourth dimension because they realize that they're worth more than their circumstance, but they can't see how their life is putting together. They can't see the pieces of the puzzle. They can't understand what's going on. So this is the fourth dimension where this typically happens. Now, this portal is the entrance to the spiritual realm. After we're past this portal, we start to see that it's not just us, it's not just I, it's we. We collectively are one person in that spiritual realm, in that fifth dimension, in the dimension of power, in the dimension of unity, in the dimension of who we are. This is the fifth dimension. What that fifth dimension means is we're able to do everything as long as we work as one body. And the body is the most important part. So once we understood that we are a part of a body so powerful, that's more powerful than the body that we have, this physical body that we live in, right? Then we move on to where we actually have to shift. There's a mental shift where a lot of people like to call it a change. And this change alters what's going on. It's saying, how can you do different now that you have this power of understanding of who you are and what we are and how we collectively are together? How can you do something about it? Because it typically happens when you go from just loving yourself to realizing that you can give to more people so that they can make a difference in their life, just like there was a difference made in your life. But this comes over time. This comes over time. But this is what it means to, love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. You have to get to this point where you have to change yourself so that you can fit the description, lose your ego so that you can fit into the description of what is possible for your life. And 6 is also a very important number, which I might go over numbers in the future, but numbers are very important. So going from 6 to 7, that I like to call it the realm of the upper or the lower heaven. And this lower heaven is sort of like the realm of the angels. This is where there's a separation between the evil in our life and the good. When we start to see the differences, because the thing is, we can actually travel to every dimension as long as we're willing to be there, and as long as we want to be there through meditation, which I would like to explain in the future. But in that, so once you've gotten to that point, the 8th dimension is the realm of wholeness. It's the realm in which we meet Jesus. Because the thing is, I'll put it like this: in every person's life, every person lives on a dimension. You might see them on one dimension, but their dimension might be completely different from your dimension if they're not in your energy. Right? And this is amazing. This is an amazing concept, right? So when you understand your energy, right, there's limitless possibilities to who you are. You can open up your life to a new reality, right? And certain people have reached enlightenment, and they can live on this enlightenment. And this is where the 8th dimension lies. This is the realm of unconditional love. This realm of unconditional love, this is where Jesus lived. And the thing is, everybody is you live in a different reality. If Jesus was you in a different reality, you have to be able to know who he was, because he gave an example for you to find that same exact way, so that you can work the same exact way, knowing that you're not going to be perfect, but you can at least try your best to do what you have to do. And that takes time to develop, but this is the realm where Jesus lives, on that 8th dimension, and it's all in your breath. Now, the 9th dimension is the soul number. So this is when the marriage comes, when you and Jesus come together as one, right? And 99 is very important, and I want to explain this real quick, just in case none of you have read the Bible. I want you to understand what the numerics, the numerology behind the books. So 9 was that soul number. Just imagine 9 and 9, so 99. So imagine 99 being the highest that you can possibly be, to closeness to God. Now, Jesus lived 33 years, right? 33 is an also powerful number. Going back to the threes, where did the 3 go? What was it? Understanding. So the thing is, he understood life. Now, he also read the Bible. Now, 33, and how many books in the Bible are there? 66. So when you understand every 66 book of the Bible, plus your 33, because the thing is, there's things in the Bible there's things in this world that not necessarily are in the Bible, but are given to you like a talent for what you are. But you have to know that you have to develop this as well as develop your understanding, because once you've reached that 99, you can understand what God has in mind for you. Because everybody has a purpose on this earth. And once you've reached that purpose, there's literally nothing that you can't do. In Jesus' name, of course. And I just want to take some time and pray with you, just in case you don't know who Jesus is. But getting on this level will be incredible. So Father in heaven, please bless everyone out there, and please help this to be a blessing for your people. And I ask it all in Yeshua's name. Amen. And if you realize I say Yeshua instead of not just Jesus, because Jesus that's the name in English. That's his name in English, but Yeshua, that was his name when he was around. So it's not that it's a completely different name. There just was no J back then when they were reading their language. So yes, but yes, it's important to me. So going back, so the meditation is very simple. What you do is you breathe all the way in, take a breath, take a pause at the top of that breath and let it all out. And do that for 5 times. And if you want, what you can do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can do it on both fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just to help you remember which breath you are on. And I'll show you 1 and 2 just so you can get an understanding of like what I mean, right? So taking the first one, breathing all the way in, taking a pause at the top, breathing out, taking a pause at the bottom, then breathing all the way in, switching fingers, breathing all the way in, taking a pause at the top, and then breathing out. And taking a pause all the way at the bottom, and then switching fingers until I get back around. And then with that meditation, I want you to be able to feel what it feels like to be on those different dimensions that I mentioned earlier, right? 1, the dimension of knowledge. 2, the wisdom is wisdom. 3 is understanding, right? 4, right, is the mind and what's in the mind. 5 is the spirit realm, understanding that spirit realm. 6 is that change or that shift, right? 7 is the realm of the angels, or just regular love of self. Then the next one would be unconditional love, love of others, right? And that's the love of Jesus. And then the 9th dimension, which is the soul number. So imagine yourself on all of these dimensions, and only you can tell you what that feels like. So I just wanted to give you an understanding of what you can do and show you that you're worth more than what society says you are. I love you. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I can't wait to hear from you.